Hi there, this is the Napalm Nepomniachtchi, and it's an amazing novelty unleashed by Jan Nepomniachtchi against GM Sjugirov in round 3 of the Russian Team Championships 2016, played only last week. Who knows how long Nepomniachtchi has been sitting on this novelty, stalking potential victims and waiting to let this genie out of the bottle, but it seems to be well worth the wait. After e4 and e5, knight f3, black plays the Russian with knight f6. Knight takes on e5. Black kicks the knight away first, back to f3 before taking the pawn back now with knight takes on e4. Well, the usual move here for white is d4, but this move now, c4, is one of many decent alternatives to the usual d4. And c4 has been played most commonly by Movsesian, but also by Leko, Smirin, Nisipiano, and many others. Bishop e7, black's preparing to castle. Now d4, black castles, gets his king into safety, and bishop d3 hits the knight. Well, black could respond with d5 or knight to f6, but more aggressive perhaps is this move, knight to g5, played several times. Well, white here has many options in this more or less equal position, and Nepomniachtchi plays knight c3. Bishop g4 again looks black's most aggressive response, pinning now the knight on f3. And this position I looked up, and I only have it listed once in my database, and it's from a game in 1979 between Cheshkovsky and Makarychev, where white played the awkward retreat with bishop e2 and black went on to win. But this is where Nepomniachtchi starts his novelty with a trade on g5. First, bishop takes on g5. Well, black's going to take back on g5. Black will get nothing with bishop takes on f3 first, because after queen takes on f3, the pawn on b7 is going to be hanging. So the obvious bishop takes on g5. And now Nepomniachtchi lets rip with this Greek gift. Bishop takes on h7, an amazing sacrificial line, and it may take some time for the coin to drop before realizing what lies behind this Greek sacrifice. After bishop takes on h7, the king's going to take back. So what has white got in return for giving up that piece? Well, this move, h4, very easy to miss. And now, in all variations, white's going to get at least a pawn advantage. Well, let's have a look what happens if the bishop drops back. If the bishop, for example, drops back to h6, well then, knight g5 check, and we see that the bishop on g4 is now going to be hit by the queen on d1. If black takes now the knight on g5, bishop takes g5, then the pawn's going to recapture, h takes on g5, opening up the h file with check. Well, black could try and hang on to the pawn with king g6, but then white will win with queen takes on g4. Black can recover the pawn with queen takes g5, but is losing after queen to h3, threatening to invade with queen to h7. Well, that's going to be close to mate. If black were to try a move like, say, f5, then we can see queen to h7 check. And if the king tries to get comfortable, say on f7, then rook to h5 hits the queen, as well as going to be capturing on f5 with a 1 position for white. And if instead of f5, for supposition's sake, let's just throw in a move here, knight to c6, then queen h7 is going to send the king to its only square to f6, and then knight to e4 is going to fork the king and the queen with a 1 game for white. Back to the game itself. After bishop takes on h7, the bishop was taken, king takes h7, and after h4, the best black could do here was bishop to d2. Nepomniachtchi takes queen takes on d2. Black throws in a spite check with rook e8. King slides over to f1. I think black here took bishop takes on f3. White need not recapture with the g-pawn, but can throw in a check himself with queen to d3. He's going to pick up the bishop on f3 and be a pawn up, and Nepomniachtchi went on to win this game. So this has been the Napalm Nepomniachtchi in the Russian. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.